Welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. You know, Utah has about 2.5 million acres of wilderness. There's about another 5 million in wilderness study areas. And occasionally we will get bills coming from Congress that ask to make another 9 to 10 million acres, claiming that it's very good for the state and the local economies. People on the ground don't think so, but there's never really been an empirical study at the ground level, at ground zero, so to speak, to really address the issue. But that study has now been completed by the Huntsman School of Business, and the results are surprising no matter what side of the debate you're on. How do people feel about it? Well, we asked Malia Bascom to get out there across the state and find out.
Thanks, Chad. Wilderness has been a divisive topic in the public lands debate. The split in ideology centers on the best use of the land. The counties that are largely made up of public lands feel that the wilderness takes valuable resources for development off of the table.
Our natural resources are really important to us. That's one of the things that's helped make our country great.
When you look at the extractive industry, when you look at recreation, when you look at cattle, when you look at all the different types of activities that happens on our public lands, then that begins to have a huge economic effect.
They limit our access to public lands. They limit our ability to have financial development, mineral extraction, access. There's a whole raft of problems, even control of fires and occurrences like that.
The environmental community sees a different scenario for the economies of rural Utah. That the protection created by wilderness designation will bring more people into the communities and create tourism jobs within the area.
Wilderness and other public lands conservation can attract tourist businesses. And there's a lot of people that may want to live there. There's a lot of people that want to visit there. It can be an economic engine.
So there's a lot of things about wilderness that sounds great, but they don't tell you what the restrictions are.
If it's wilderness, you can't even take any kind of motorized vehicle out there, a bicycle or anything.
And I think of all the things I've done in wilderness, and there are a lot. You can hunt, you can fish, you can ski, you can run rivers, you can kayak, you can hike, you can ride horses.
True wilderness, in my mind, separates itself just naturally. And I think the whole wilderness effort is somewhat misguided.
However, the groups that work to protect areas under the designation of wilderness see what seems misguided to some as very necessary.
Because I do think there are threats that we don't know about, and it's for the sake of the next generation and the generation after that. I think it behooves us to make good decisions now.
We all want to protect and keep these areas beautiful and clean and pristine, and so that's really not the issue. But for some, when they take it to that next level where they're saying, let's limit, let's not allow any other kind of use other than a single use, and that's too restrictive for the majority of our public lands. I think for the most part, most of our lands do not fall into that type of designation.
Although there does not seem to be any answer to the wilderness debate, it is worth considering what opportunities are lost in areas that are protected. We will discuss the cost of wilderness in our roundtable discussion with the authors of the report that carries the same name. For the county seat, I'm Malia Bascom.
Thank you, Malia, for that report. An interesting topic, and we are going to discuss that in great detail. We're privileged to have the authors of this environmental trends study with us in studio today. We'll be discussing the impacts and the future on economic development, energy, wilderness, and a whole gambit of things right here on the county seat. We'll be back in just a minute.
Fall in love with fall, Logan, Utah.
Some people just live life. Others turn life into a great adventure. The only difference is where they choose to experience it. Come to Uinta County, Utah, where business, recreation, just life in general, move from the mundane to the magnificent. Come to learn Come to play. Come and do more than just live life. Uinta County. Find out what you're missing in undiscovered Utah.
What are the words that describe the perfect destination? Finding them all in one place is easy if you know where to look. Millard County in the heart of Utah offers ATV adventures, rock crawling events, art festivals, and nature at its most epic. Millard County, Utah. Find out what you've been searching for.
How would you spend an extra day in Utah Valley? Stay one more day. Visit utahvalley.com to make reservations. Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.